If you need to learn how to talk to a lady, ask your mum.
Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a review of these 3 Korean skincare products by Pyunkang Yul, and these skincare products were sent to me by Stylekorean through their Try Me, Review Me program. So let's just get into reviewing these now. So with all of these products, they are generally formulated for acne-prone, oily, and sensitive skin. None of these products here contain fragrance, natural or synthetic. Again, not that fragrance is a bad ingredient, but sometimes there are certain fragrances that can cause sensitivities, and people tend to be sensitive to fragrance. So the first product I'm going to talk about is the Essence Toner. And in terms of texture, this texture is definitely a bit more of a thicker toner. It feels like the hyaluronic acid toner by Hanskin and maybe the Fenty Beauty Fat Skin toner or fat water toner, I think. Anyways, it just has a thicker consistency that gives it a bit more of a moisturizing feel, like it's locking in a lot more moisture with its thickness. It's definitely very hydrating. I like the thickness of this. I don't feel like it's overwhelming. It doesn't leave a film on the skin, and I find that this could possibly be usable amongst different skin types. So in terms of ingredients, I'm going to be reading the 2 ingredients that I really liked in here. So the first one is the vetch root, the milk vetch root. So this toner essence is 91.3% milk vetch root, and that ingredient has anti-inflammatory properties, so it's supposed to help reduce inflammation and redness. And then the next one I want to talk about is the arginine. This is an amino acid, which is also a natural moisturizing factor. In that sense, that means that this is a natural part of the skin, and it'll really help to build and strengthen the skin's outer protective barrier. So that's why it's really good to incorporate natural moisturizing factors into your routine, because they do help to really strengthen that outer barrier that is supposed to really be protective of the skin. It's that skin's first defense mechanism. So it's really good to be incorporating ingredients like these. Arginine is also a soothing agent with anti-inflammatory properties, and also it helps to reduce irritation and sensitivity. So did I dislike this product, or was there anything that I did not like about it? I would say I did not dislike this. I do think that this would be something I would end up purchasing. If I had to say, was this outstanding to me, I wouldn't say that it gave me great results that were different from any other toner I've ever used before. Who is this for? I would say that this could be really for anyone's skin, but maybe more leaning on the side of combination to dry, just because of the texture and the thickness. But I really think that oily skin could find benefit in this as well. So the next thing I have here is the Moisture Serum. I would say that the texture is very watery / creamy. It's very interesting. It has a very light creamy consistency, but it kind of turns a little bit to a watery feel after you start rubbing it into the skin. It's very light. If you have combination skin or oily skin and you do like that creamy feel, but you don't like if it's too thick or occlusive, this could be a really good option, I believe. So let's get into the 3 ingredients that I do like. So the first ingredient I want to talk about is the japonica root extract. So japonica root has antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and soothing properties. So it's really going to help reduce redness and inflammation, especially if you have acne. That's something that is definitely very important. And it's soothing, so it's going to reduce that irritation sensitivity factor, which I think makes these products very sensitive skin friendly in a way. They have a lot of ingredients and are formulated well to help reduce that sensitivity factor on the skin. The next ingredient that is in here, which really surprised me, was olive oil. So although olive oil tends to be high in oleic acid, which is a fatty acid that tends to make the oil very sticky and thick, this cream or this serum is very light. So even though it contains olive oil, it's very surprising that it does, because it must have been formulated very well to reduce that sticky factor of the olive oil, which I applaud. The other thing I want to say is that olive oil contains an ingredient called squalene, and that is a natural moisturizing factor, which is just a natural component of the skin. Essentially, squalane has great cell regenerative properties, so it's very good at repairing the skin in a regenerative way, like literally repairing the skin. And because it's a natural moisturizing factor, again, it's going to strengthen that outer barrier and that protective layer of the skin. Again, the last thing that is in here is the arginine, which is a really good natural moisturizing factor and amino acid, great for repairing the skin barrier and just really replenishing it and keeping it nice and strengthened. So what I didn't like about this, I really did not like this packaging. I felt like maybe something was wrong with my syringe, but it really did not pick up product well, and I had to actually pour it out a lot and tap it onto my hand, which wasn't like a dirty process at all. It wasn't a big deal, but I would say that the experience was a bit ruined in that sense. But I also just didn't feel like this was great for my skin. I have very, very dry skin, as I said before, and I just felt like this wasn't hydrating enough. It didn't do enough for me, and I wasn't a super big fan of the watery / creamy texture. So if I had to say who is this for, I would say that this is for people who have probably combination oily skin. I would say if you have dry skin, this could be a long shot, but again, that's my personal opinion. You could always try this out. It could always work for you if you have dry skin. So the next product I am going to talk about here is the nutrition cream. So this cream is basically like the serum I showed you guys before, but kind of in like cream form, a little bit thicker. I would say it does have a little bit more of a jelly form, but it is that balance between creamy and jelly. So in terms of ingredients, the first one I want to talk about is the sodium hyaluronate. This is the sodium form of hyaluronic acid, which is a natural moisturizing factor. It's commonly found within our skin. It's naturally found within our skin. And essentially it's a very good ingredient to incorporate because it has very similar properties, of course, to hyaluronic acid, where it holds onto moisture deep within the layers of the skin. So it's good for very dehydrated skin because dehydrated skin is lacking that water. The next ingredient I want to talk about is the shea butter. I really enjoy how they incorporated shea butter in here. Even though that this is a lighter gel cream, I know that shea butter tends to be a bit thicker, so I really again applaud the formulation here and how they incorporate that so well within this formulation and still keep the texture very light. Shea butter is really great for dry skin because it has regenerative properties, so it's really good for repairing the skin barrier, and it's just the ultimate moisture gal for your skin. Shea butter also has antioxidant and soothing properties, so it's good for protecting the skin as well, and also reducing inflammation and just soothing and calming the skin. The last ingredient I want to talk about is the macadamia seed oil. This was a new sort of ingredient for me, so I really thought that this was rather innovative to include it in the formulation. Again, one ingredient doesn't make the change and make a formulation like completely good or bad, but I do appreciate when there are new product or new ingredients that are incorporated that I've never seen before. I do see that as an innovative move. So that's why I did want to talk about it here. So macadamia seed oil is high in oleic acid, which means that it tends to be a little bit on the thicker side, a little bit more greasier in terms of oil. But again, I really do applaud this formulation because although it does contain some thicker and a little bit more emollient ingredients, it does maintain a nice jelly texture, which really speaks volumes about how this was formulated so well in order to keep that lightness, but still include some very hydrating ingredients that tend to have those thicker properties. Oleic acid is a fatty acid, helps to repair the skin barrier. So for dislikes, I wouldn't necessarily say that I disliked anything about this cream, but I didn't feel like it was a big game changer or very different from other creams that I currently use. So would I buy it again? I'm not necessarily sure. I do see myself possibly buying it again, but again, what I'm trying to say is that I am using moisturizers that are very similar to this one, and I'm not sure if I would really go out of my way to purchase this over that if I already am using something that is very similar and does the same type of job. So who is this for? I would say that this is probably geared more towards combination to dry. I don't think that oily skin can't use this. They can definitely try it out. But in my personal opinion, I do think that although it's formulated very well in a light nature, it does have still a little bit of a thickness to it, and the ingredients inside tend to be rather thick, so it might fit the dry skin combination skin picture a little bit better. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys watch the 2 videos in the end screen, and I'll see you later. Bye.